In this video, we're talking about GERD. GERD stands for gastroesophageal reflux disease or heartburn. This is a condition that many people have, and a lot of these people are charged with DUI, and they give a breath sample. Well, how can GERD artificially inflate a person's breath sample and increase the severity of their DUI? We're going to talk about that. So here I have a very scientific drawing of a stomach and somebody's lungs and their esophagus, their trachea, and then their mouth and head. And what GERD is it's when your body, this is your esophageal lining, so it goes from your mouth into your stomach. When you consume alcohol, you can imagine that alcohol goes into your stomach. Everybody who's watching this should be over 3 years old, so they understand that. And so if you have alcohol in your stomach, it should stay down there. The way that your body keeps stuff in your stomach is because this tube here, which is called your esophagus, and your lining into your stomach will actually close up so that when your stomach is moving and digesting food and substance, it doesn't come back up out of your mouth. When you throw up, this is where the food comes out. The stomach pumps that stuff out, and this, it's called the sphincter, this opens up, this muscle lining. GERD is when there's a problem down here. So that is not closing. It's not pinching closed. There's basically a kind of a flap, if you want to think about it that way, where this is opening up, and so stuff comes back up that way. Well, when you give a breath sample, you're obviously not breathing out of your stomach. You're breathing out of your lungs. And your lungs and your esophagus, your trachea, which goes into your lungs, and your esophagus both come out of your mouth. The problem here is that when you have GERD, and this is not closing properly, any alcohol or any substance that's in your stomach can slowly creep back up your esophagus and go into your mouth. It's called mouth alcohol. Mouth alcohol is a big problem in breath testing. If you have alcohol in your mouth and your air from your lungs goes through that alcohol out of your mouth and into the machine, it's going to pick up the alcohol in your mouth. And so even though your lungs will go through a separate tube up into your trachea, they both still converge in your throat, and they will come out right over the mouth alcohol. So if you have GERD or heartburn and you feel that kind of in the back of your throat, you feel it in your chest, that's your stomach acid coming up. It's called GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. It may be severe, it may be minor, you may be on medication for it, you may not be. But it can be something that drastically impacts your breath test. So if you think about it, you now have alcohol that's creeping its way up and residing in your mouth. So when you take that deep breath that the officer wants you to take and you blow and blow and blow and blow hard into that device, all of that air is now passing right over that mouth alcohol and then going into the machine and artificially increasing your breath test results. So if you've been charged with DUI and you have a history of heartburn, if you've been diagnosed with GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, if you've been thinking about it, if you take medication for heartburn, if you're one of those guys who's always popping Tums every single day, all day, you might have a situation that sounds like this, and it may be very relevant if you've been charged with a DUI. So if you have and you want to meet with our office and talk about this and many other issues that could be available in your case, could be considered strong defenses in your case, give our office a call. We'll schedule a free case evaluation, sit down with you, and make sure you have a good plan moving forward. Thanks for watching.